My royal masterminds are up now. Lady Colin Campbell and Phil Dampier. And after appearing at a sports summit in Japan, it's Singapore and not home to Montecito next for the Duke of Sussex, where he will play in his charity's polo match. But he still had Meghan on his mind, according to this social media post from fellow polo player Nacho Figueres, with the two of them, quote, shopping for their wives. The Duchess, meanwhile, doesn't seem to be missing her husband too badly after trips to see the new Barbie movie and Taylor Swift were leaked to the US media. There are also reports she's preparing to go it alone on Instagram, managing to secure the handle @Meghan. So, Lady C, we were told in the past that Harry and Meghan were like salt and pepper. They only worked when they were together. After the failure of Netflix, the failure of Spotify, really the failure of the Hollywood move altogether, there seems to be a very different strategy going on.
Yes, of course. There's a total separation of church and state, let's put it that way. But also, you know, there's a very cynical exercise taking place here, because Nacho Figueres has made the point that Harry and he are shopping for their wives. Harry had never shopped for his wife before. This is to silence the rumors that there is trouble in paradise. But I mean, you know, the more they play up with antics like this, is the more that people realize that there is trouble in paradise. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to be denying the obvious.
Phil Dampier, do you think there's trouble in paradise? Or, Phil, is this professional? Because Meghan, who wants to be a big star, has realised that the projects as the Sussexes aren't working, so she's going to try and reposition herself as Meghan. I found it fascinating, Phil. Her every move is now being leaked to the American media at the moment, like the New York Post. You know, she goes to the Barbie movie with Portia de Rossi on her birthday. It's leaked to the New York Post. She goes to the Taylor Swift concert on her own with a girlfriend. It's leaked to the New York Post.
Yeah, good evening, Dan. I think we can guess who's doing the leaking, can't we? Their PR people. You're tempted to ask, aren't you, with Harry's trip to Japan, where's the beef? Well, apparently in his case, the beef was the Kobe beef he was eating.
Yum,
with
yum, yum.
Yummy. He had two nice meals. He hugged some kids from a choir in South Africa. He got on stage and told us how he lives for charity. And, of course, he just got on with it out there and basically told us what a great philanthropist he was. But, you know, yet again, no real substance to it. Off to play polo. From the outside, it just looks like another jaunt, doesn't it? An all-expenses-paid jaunt. Meanwhile, she's out enjoying herself. Yes, they're going their separate ways. And apart from the book deal which they've signed or Netflix have signed, just looks very much as if they're doing separate projects. So,
well, of course, and that project, they're not even on screen together. They're just producing it. So I guess whereas the Sussexes have failed miserably to crack America, other members of the royal family having no such trouble, a bombshell new poll has found that Harry's brother and all-time rival now, the Prince of Wales, is America's most popular public figure, ranking above Donald Trump and President Zelensky. This is in spite of Harry's character assassination attempt against Wales in that Netflix reality show and his autobiography. US media superstar, good friend of the show, Megyn Kelly, reacted by tweeting, "Paging Harry and Meghan, your campaign failed. You remain loathed and the Prince and Princess of Wales beloved." Lady C, I can't imagine this news went down very well in Montecito.
Well, I'm sure that Meghan was doing her typical thing. It's, I can't stand it. But the fact of the matter is, William has proven that even Americans don't want royals to be interfering with politics. Yeah. Both the Republicans and the Democrat supporters in the United States of America have voted for William. They do not want royalty involved with politics. And also, I mean, with due respect, William supersedes both Trump and Biden. I mean, both of whom are in negative figures. So I think there's a message there somewhere that Harry could actually begin to adopt, because he and Meghan have completely breached every rule where royalty and politics are concerned. And they have waded in favor of the Democrats. And the American people don't want it. They didn't fight a civil war and have, well, I suppose it's not a civil war, it was the War of Independence, the American Revolutionary War. They didn't fight it to get free of the British, to then have a British prince and his rather frowsy wife interfering with American politics.
No, indeed. Indeed. Now, look, Phil, it really wasn't a good week for Harry, was it? Because the royal family finally made this decision to remove his HRH title from their official website. It means he's now only above Prince Andrew on the page. Phil, what's the timing about? Is this a power play from the palace?
I think it's just death by 1,000 cuts down, to be honest. I think they're slowly but surely moving away from them. They're slowly sidelining them. He's been. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong notes here. He's definitely slowly being edged out. I don't think he's going to. I don't think the King's going to take away the titles. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he feels that will make the situation worse. But there's no doubt that they are slowly being edged out. I don't know why it's taken them so long to get around to doing this on the website. Maybe it's just having enough staff to police these things. There's so many things on that website. Sometimes when you get on there, you get very confused. But it's definitely something which they've decided to do, and it just shows there's no way back for them. I don't think there's any chance for reconciliation in the near future. And this is just another indication that, they're on the way out.
Lady C, did you find the timing significant in any way?
I think it most likely is somewhat significant, because one of the things that they did do was alter the fact that Harry and Meghan were serving the King, while previously they were serving the Queen. And I think this shows palace ineptitude at its absolute peak. Those of us who have had any dealings with the palace in even the most limited way will know that some of them are extremely inefficient and inept. And, the advice they give is not worth having. And, that website should be completely rejigged, and Harry and Meghan should not have the place they have on it at all.
You think they need to go all together because they don't have a role now? They should just be wiped off?
I think they absolutely should go all together, because irrespective of his place in the line of succession, there are other members of the royal family who are now filling in for him, like as councillors of state, etc. And they're not mentioned on the website. Princess Beatrice, for instance. So there's absolutely no reason for him to be there. And it's actually an insult to the British people. And it's an insult to the supporters of the monarchy that this website still is somewhat...
Well, with everything that he said, indeed. Lady C, Phil D, brilliant as ever. My Royal Masterminds, thank you both so much.